Oh my gosh, I have no idea why this is vertical today. When I turn it the way it says orientation is locked, rotate device back. I'm definitely gonna have to figure that out for next week. Oh well, we're just gonna go for it anyway, right? If I can get this in the holder. Hi! Hi, Anandit. Good to see you. I'm trying to figure out why my phone is all messed up today. Oh boy. It's like, I don't know, the orientation is locked and it won't turn the other way. Okay. Where is top chat? Viewing options. Hi, Jalations. Hey, Frank is here. Good morning. Hi, Derek. Who else popped on? Let's see. Jacqueline's here. Hey. I don't know why it's vertical today. Sometimes I just feel like these phones have a mind of their own. And I don't know. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh, my new necklace is falling off. Okay. Maybe I didn't clip it properly. A lovely lady sent me this necklace, and it came with earrings too, but I couldn't figure out how to put the earrings on. It was different clasps than I've ever seen, and I was like, I didn't even know how to open them. But maybe 3 crosses would have been redundant. I don't know. Okay. Who else do we have here? Nicola, hi. Yes, you know, and Anandit, I just got back. What time did I get back this morning? 1:15. I got back at 1:15 this morning from Las Vegas, so I haven't had time to send you whatever information. So, sorry, I've been busy. I've been out of town, taking care of business. I was at a, no, Derek, I'm not going to Oregon. Nicola, was that Shaunte's book launch you were dancing in? She's going to relaunch her book in February. Those of you who love and follow Shaunte. Jalation says, do you know that God loves you? I sure do. I was talking to him this morning. And if you guys would also, in your prayers, keep Nana, our fantastic moderator, in your thoughts, because she's been having a little bit of a headache. Yeah. We've got bruh moment saying hi. Nicola, yeah, I saw you did an interview with Giovanna. How was that? We've got a birthday February 28th. Cool. So I was in Las Vegas with Shaunte. We were at an event for authors, speakers, and authors, speakers, and coaches. People who are coaches, like I'm an encouragement coach, aka life coach, authors, people who write books, and then do you hear the blender? People know I'm like live streaming and like still there's a blender going right now. I hope he's making a smoothie for me. Bruh, Moment says I'm his favorite Darman character. That's pretty cool. Jalason says, you know I read the Bible sometimes at 4 in the morning. There's a lot worse things you could do at 4 in the morning, so good for you. I'm proud of you. We got other birthdays in February. Oh, Jesse's here. Oh, you are from Las Vegas. Yes, I noticed your traffic is getting worse. I drove with a friend of mine, and then on the way home, we gave Shaunte a ride home. She was supposed to fly back tonight, I think, but she decided she wanted to leave a day early, so. Olivia says, Elena, I was wondering, oh, okay, I guess you're not talking to me. Okay, side conversations. So who do you guys, oh, Tinky Winky's giving me a big hug. Seattle Green says, I like the recent Darman video you were in with the tattoo guy. You act so well. Oh, thank you. Hi, Orly. Good morning. Hope your homework is going good. What was I going to say? Doesn't matter. Do you guys think that the people you spend time with determines your future? Have you noticed spending time with certain people is sometimes good for your life and sometimes bad for your life? Galatians is asking, what's my favorite Bible verse? You know, I feel like I have different favorites depending on what I'm going through at the time. And I encourage all of you to make a list of your favorite verses. Keep them on like an index card, keep them in your wallet or in your purse, and pull them out and read them sometimes and remember them, especially when you're going through something. Let's see. Oh, looks like our other moderator needs prayers this week too. You guys can say a prayer for Brittany. She's got an ear infection this week. All right, devil, get your hands off my moderators. Bruh moment. No, I'm not a doctor. I am an author, an actor, a speaker, and a coach. Morning, Donald. So, have you guys heard, and I don't know if they did some kind of a study behind this, but have you heard that the amount of money you have in your life is determined by the 5 people you spend the most time with? That your net worth is going to be an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? This is something I was talking about with Giovanna and Shaunte and my friend TJ this week. And for the last few weeks, you know, we were saying we need to go down to Beverly Hills and just, you know, go bring our books. We're doing a book club right now. We're reading through that book called You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I said, we need to go down and have our book club, instead of like just doing a Zoom meeting, we need to go down to Beverly Hills and just go have tea where the rich people live and just see what that feels like. Because sometimes when you're around a lot of people who have like poverty mentality, like I grew up in a trailer court, so I know what it's like to be around poor people, right? And they think differently. They're not bad people. They're not any less likely to get into heaven or whatever. Like, riches aren't the solution to things, but rich people think differently than poor people. They think differently about what the use of money is for. So I remember hearing Myron Golden teach on poor people think that money is to pay bills. And middle class people think that you get money so that you can pay your bills on time, so that you can get good credit, so that you can buy the things that you want that the rich people have. You get good credit. You make sure you get money and pay your bills on time to get good credit to buy that house, to qualify for that house, to get that fancier car. But rich people think that money should be used to make more money. And it's interesting because how many of you guys are hard workers? How many of you guys work really hard? And sometimes there doesn't seem to be enough left at the end of the month for all that you need. I don't know how we got into money, but it's okay. I guess I brought it up. I'm like, that's not what I was going to talk about today, but I'm talking about the people you surround yourself with. And Nandit says, me. Yeah. And there's this fallacy, there's this misconception, hi pretty la, that says if you work hard, you will get ahead. How many of you have been working hard for years and don't feel like you've gotten ahead? I've got both hands. I'm raising my hand. I've got both hands up. It's not about working harder. It's about working right. It's about doing the right things that make a difference. You know, the rich people are not working harder than you necessarily. They're working right. They're doing the right things with the money that they do have. You know, like, I don't know if you've read any of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, but he talks about how poor people buy liabilities and rich people buy assets. So, boy, this is like turning into a financial talk today. That's where the Spirit's leading me. This must be what you guys need, and hopefully it will benefit you. What is the difference between an asset and a liability? An asset will bring you money, and a liability will just take money for you. For most people, you could argue about a car being a liability because it depreciates in value the moment you drive it off the lot, right? That's why you never want to buy a new car. A brand spanking new car will lose at least like a couple $1,000s in value like the day you drive it off the lot. You always want to get new. And then interest rates. Let's talk about interest rates. Like, how much interest are we paying? You know, when we're only making the minimum payment on our mortgage each month, Nicola's wondering if I've studied business. I have studied business. Not in an official college, but I am a lifetime learner. I read books pretty much every day. Readers are leaders, right? So, I feel like I'm all over the place today, but I guess bear with me, and ask me any questions based on this kind of stuff. By the time we pay off our house, if we're only making the minimum payments, we will have paid probably 2 to 3 times more than we should have. In other words, we would have been able to buy 2 or 3 houses had we not done it on credit. So it's interesting because we say we own a home. I don't own this home. The bank owns it. Right? Nicholas says, I studied business in high school for 4 years, but I wasn't good at first. Later I got better. Yeah. So, who was I studying with? There was one financial mentor I was studying with. Oh, Derek says the audio's down. Okay, I'm trying to turn the audio up on my phone. Is that working? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, well, hopefully you can. So think about this. When people say the harder you work, the more money you will have. How many of you guys know some people in your life that work like 12 to 14 hours a day doing hard manual labor and they're not getting ahead? So it's not about how hard you work. It's about working right, doing the right things. Some people say it's about working smarter. There's things I'm doing to work smarter, but they may not be right. So I have a new coach. I still have my other coach. I have 2 coaches now. Y'all don't want to know how much I'm paying for coaching. But it's important. I so believe in coaches and coaching that if you want to go faster in life and you want to go further in life, you have to learn from people who are where you want to be, right? I love the saying that says, never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with. So you want to be mentored and coached. Oh, Angela, thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. And you too, Nicola. You guys are so sweet. You want to be mentored and coached by people who have achieved some level of success in the area you want success in. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be emotional health, right? It could be confidence. It depends on what you're going for. People have business coaches. A lot of sports people have multiple coaches. Some of them have 4 or 5 coaches. The point is, you want to learn from someone who's going the direction you want to go, who's been where you want to go, and that's why reading books is so important. Hi, Ariana. Welcome. Welcome. So I'm talking a little bit about money today. I'm talking about who we surround ourselves with, how to get ahead in life. You know, the very cool thing about books is usually people who write a book, they're writing a book about what they've learned the last 40 years of their life, the last 30 years of their life, the last 20 years of their life. Depends like how old they are when they write the book. But you can get an education in 2 or 3 hours that took somebody a lifetime to read. And you don't know what golden nugget that you'll get from that'll change your life. So no, rich people are not working harder. They're working right. In fact, they're on the golf course. They're on the golf course. They're flying in their private jets to go skiing, to go to Vegas, to go to show. They're not necessarily working harder than the people who don't have a lot. So what are they doing differently? Right? Super Cool says, hey, Katherine, you speak facts. Thank you. I hope this is helpful for you guys, because we all want to have more with our life so that we can do more, so that we can help more, you know? And I want to break up the fallacy that sometimes, especially in the Christian community, I know they don't have this in the Jewish community, but in the Christian community, they have this fallacy that it's holy to be poor. You know, sometimes I've heard in the Catholic community, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but they the nuns and the monks and people will take vows of poverty, as if that's holy, as if it's holy to have nothing. Oh, God is all that matters. Well, yeah, yes, God is the most important, but you have to buy food. You have to have a roof over your head. You have to have clothes on your back. And sometimes people think that, and this is where the devil has brainwashed us, I have to say. The devil will have you say, but I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy. I only want enough for my family. Hey, Julations, that's cool. I'm glad. So, but may I submit a different way of thinking of things to you guys? Perhaps thinking I only want enough for me and my family, perhaps that is what's selfish. Perhaps wanting money is not selfish and greedy. Perhaps only wanting enough for you is greedy and selfish. Because imagine how many more people you could help if you had wealth. Imagine how many charities you could help, how many kids with cancer you could help, how many shelters you could build to get homeless people off the streets. So sometimes when people say these things, they say things like, oh, I only want enough for me. That's what you're going to get out of life. You know, you're going to get what you expect. You're going to get what you say, because what you say is what you pray. So how are you thinking about your money? How are you thinking about your finances? Are you, if you only want more so you can buy a Lamborghini, so you can look cool, so you can buy shots at the club, yeah, well, maybe that's not a good reason to have more. I'm not saying you can't have fun or you can't have nice things, but we have to get out of the mentality that having wealth is selfish, because if being rich is sinful, then God is the biggest sinner of all. Do you think God wants you to be poor? Do you think God condones poverty? Do you think he wants us all to struggle on earth while he's up on heaven, walking on golden streets? His gates are made out of pearls. His footstool, where he puts his foot, is made out of jasper. That's a gem, or for those of you who don't know. So if having money is sinful, then God is the biggest sinner of all. I wrote a poem about that. So I just want you guys to kind of change your thinking on that. So back to who you surround yourself with, because that's the topic today. And if you guys have any questions on this subject, let me know. I'm gonna go look through your comments a little bit. Thank you for the gift, Derek. I would like for you to meet with me and my advocate for lunch whenever you're available. You're going to have to text me about what that's about. Like, why, I don't understand why I would need to meet with your advocate. That seems something more appropriate for your sister. I'm not, related to you. I don't know how. I think if you want to meet with your advocate, you should probably do it with a family member. Okay, so Orly says that's what we do in the Jewish religion. It's a commandment to help people who don't have money. If you have wealth, you should help other people. Yeah, and I agree. So being poor isn't doing anybody any favors. It's got people, if you're stressed out at night and you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, if you're upside down in debt and you don't know how you're going to make the payments to Visa or MasterCard, and you're having anxiety over it, it's not good for you. And even the Bible says, "Owe no man anything but to love them." Another scripture in the Old Testament says, "The borrower is servant to the lender." Angela says, "You don't need to be in any religion to help people. Just have a good heart." Absolutely. Yeah. Just help people. It's not about religion, but it is showing your love for God by helping others and your love for people and humanity. So what does it have to do with who we spend the most time with? Are you spending time with people who are always saying, "I don't have enough. We're not getting paid enough. This doesn't, I can't afford this. I can't, and they're complaining? Your net worth reflects the 5 people you spend the most time with. This has been studied. And so, and I'm not saying ditch your poor friends, but I might be suggesting to read some books. Who you surround yourself with. Maybe you're going, "I don't have access to any rich people." I only know 2 rich people, and I don't hang out with them. So it's not about that. But books. What about reading books by rich people? That is also surrounding yourself, because you're putting their wisdom and knowledge into your mind. Yeah, Orly says the community helps me here with gift certificates for food and clothes. So exactly, being able to help others is such a good feeling. I've had times in my life where I felt like God's telling me to help certain people, and I help them, and they're in tears, and they're crying, and they're thanking me, and they're so grateful. And it feels good to be able to help people, right? But if you have the mentality of there's not enough, there's never enough, you're also less likely to help people, because you feel like, well, if I help them, then I'm not going to have enough. And I remember one time, I have so many stories about where God was growing me in the area of giving and trusting Him. And I remember one time I was down to my last $20 and Timmy needed diapers. And God was telling me to go give my last $20 to somebody. And I was like, "But God, Timmy needs diapers. if I give this to them, then I don't have that in, and I just felt the Holy Spirit telling me, trust me, trust me. And I went up to this random lady and I was like, you know what? God wants you to have this. And she just like broke down crying. It wasn't much, but it was all I had. And she was like in the gas station where I was getting gas. She was begging. I didn't even know because I didn't see her asking people for money. She didn't have money to get her baby formula. And so it was this incredible thing that she, like, because of me being obedient, that her baby got to eat that night, And somehow I miraculously did not run out of diapers and somehow had enough to make it to the, payday. So I've got, honestly, dozens and dozens of stories like this where God has come through for me. I remember meeting a guy once, and we met introduced by my agent, and I just met him once, and then I felt like God was telling me to send him a card and send him $200, and that was a lot for me at the time, and I needed it, frankly, and God was so good as he's teaching me to be generous. And it wasn't even sent. I had it, got an envelope stamp, put it in the mailbox. And when I got back into the house, somebody sent me $200 on PayPal. Like within moments of me being obedient, God replaced that money. A friend of mine said, God told me to send this to you. And so it's so amazingly crazy when we just choose to be obedient, how God always comes through. And that's kind of like he's building our faith. So surrounding ourselves with people who are sharing these stuff with you. Hopefully me sharing this with you is building your faith so you can start to trust God. Whether he says, give that homeless guy $5, or tell that lady in the supermarket, girl, you look great today. I don't know what you're doing, but it's working for you. Whether it's money or whether it's words of encouragement, whatever it is, you're going to start to grow your faith and, being around people who are thinking bigger than you. So last weekend, I was in Las Vegas at a mastermind I was being taught by my new coach. My new coach is from the TV show ABC's Secret Millionaire. So learning to think bigger, learning to think right, surrounding yourself with people who are abundant mindset instead of poverty mindset. What it does is it expands your vision. It opens you up to what's possible, because if I'm only on set and I'm hanging out with a bunch of people who are complaining that they don't have enough or whatever, then you start to be pulled down. You start to be pulled down by the people who have these thoughts, right? So what does this mean for you guys? What does this mean how does this apply to you? Who are you spending your time with? Hey, Robert. Do you feel like the people you're taking advice from, that you're listening to, are going to help you get a bigger picture, to see a bigger picture, to want more, to go for more, to feel like more is possible, to be able to be more giving? Or are you hanging around people who are negative Nellies, negative Neds, not having enough, just that are seeing the lack? You guys have heard me say this poem before. 2 men looked out of the jail cell bars. One saw the mud, one saw the stars. These are 2 people in the same situation, but what are they focusing on? What are you putting your focus on? Robert says, you know me too well. Tell me more, Robert. Robert says, I wish people would send me money when I do good. International English Club says, your church is a place I can sit for hours. It's so peaceful. You feel you are with God and all tension goes away. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Nicholas says, when you help someone, it gives a blessed feeling. Quote from Darman, pay it forward. that quote did not originally come from him, but yes, he uses a lot of quotes that were already quotes beforehand. Speaking of pay it forward, so somebody I was at this mastermind with this week, I'm going to show this to you guys. Hold on. Oh, by the way, I know nobody's asked today. I got the manuscript for my dad's book. It's almost ready. I'm just going to be adding some pictures inside. It'll be a regular book form, but this is, I had one printed out at Kinko's just to bring it with me this week to show people. Okay, let's see. What was I going to show you? You mentioned pay it forward, so I'm looking for something. Oh, somebody who was sitting at my table this week at the author speaker coach convention wrote this book. Pay it forward to find your purpose in life. Be significant and add value to someone today. I can't wait to dive in and read this. Oh, looks like a really easy read. Oh boy, look. It's like a workbook. Oh, it's got scriptures in it, like he autographed it for me. Yay. To my friend Katherine, thanks for your help this weekend. You are awesome. Awesome. So pay it forward, yeah. Are you around people who are generous? If you're around people who are generous, you're going to be more generous. If you're around people who are stingy, you're going to be more stingy. How many of you have said, I'm going to stop drinking, but then you're hanging out with your drinking buddies? You want to spend time with and hang around with the people that you want to become like, right? You know, one of my favorite evangelists, her name is Cheryl Salem. She was Miss America in 1980. And when she became Miss America, she had all of these offers. And you know, of course she got offered to be like in a adult magazine, and she like that kind of stuff. You go, okay, I know that's not from God, so it's easy to say no to. But she was asked to be a host of a very popular show. I think it was E! Entertainment or something like that. And she would have been making like $1 million a year or something like that. It was a lot of money. I don't remember exactly how much. And God told her no. And she's like, no, I could be such a bright light in this dark place of Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I could make a big difference for you. You know, she's trying to talk God into it. She's like, you know, I could make all this money and I could tithe. I could give to the church. I could give so much more. And when she was praying about it, God answered her, and he said, because she's talking about how she could be a great influence to them, be that light in the dark place. And God said to her, before they become like you, you will become like them. So when you're surrounded by a place of darkness, it's easy to get pulled down and be darker. It's much easier to get pulled down to someone else's level than to pull someone up to yours. Have you ever tried, as a coach, sometimes I experience this, have you ever tried dragging someone to success? Have you ever tried trying to get someone to be successful when they're fighting back or they're making excuses or they don't want to? It's exhausting, right? Have you ever tried to get somebody to like work out or eat better and it's going to be more likely that they're going to get you eating French fries and chocolate cake than you getting them to eat broccoli. Right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Say yes in the chat. How many of you have experienced this? Say yes in the chat. I like, you can't raise your hand. Okay, let me look. Is this helpful for you guys? Is this helping? Okay. Via says, some people may be nice to you in front of you but criticize you behind their back. That's true. Nicola's asking, will it be an ebook too? all of my books will be ebooks. So my dad's book that I'll be launching in February, I finally got the cover redone. I changed the subtitle. I'm trying to show it to you guys. It's not cheap printing stuff at Kinko's. Do you know I got a mock copy of my dad and my book printed, as well as my Worthy book printed. This cost me $90 stinking to print these two books. I was like, $90. Oh my gosh. That's these prices, is it? Okay. So the 100 Air. This is kind of on topic with what we're doing, with what we're talking about right now. My dad's book, Donald Foster and Katherine Norland, The 100 Air, a memoir of generosity from the house painter next door. So my dad didn't make a lot of money. He painted houses, but he was always generous. And you don't need to wait to have money to be generous. So you can start with where you're at. It can be, and you'll read what are the different ways we can be generous, even if we don't feel like we have a lot to give. You know, can you be generous with your time? Can you be generous with your compliments? Can you be generous with helping others? Whatever it is, there's a lot of great stories in here about that. So let me see what you guys are saying. Nicholas says, I look forward to your Worthy book. Anand said, Katherine, the recent book which you released, I got the proper paperback edition, imported from the USA to India, Amazon, after 1 month. I released an ebook. I didn't even release a paperback. So what's the title? Because I'm not familiar with what you may have gotten, because I don't think you can get a paperback.
Wait, can you turn the phone off?
The phone is jacked up today. I don't know why it's...
Oh, dang it.
I know. It's not landscape. Maybe it's a setting. Okay, what's going on?
Fix it.
But I tried, Timmy. It doesn't work. Yeah, I tried. I swear. I tried to turn it and it said the rotation is locked.
Fix it then.
You can't fix it.
So, are you tired of Lay's being expensive?
Yeah, I'm so tired of Lay's being expensive.
Do you want a cheaper Lay's?
Yeah, I want a cheaper Lay's.
Introducing Kroger's potato chips. Not sponsored by Kroger.
Okay, Timmy.
Yeah, thank you. We call this a live short.
A live short?
Yeah, it's like YouTube shorts, but it's live.
Oh, okay.
Best joke of 2023 on YouTube.
Okay, if you say so.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
And please stop playing horror games. Every time I play horror games, they get too dark.
Horror games are too dark, yeah. Don't play horror games.
So that's why I moved on to
a Squid Game. Okay.
Wah.
All right.
Don't worry, it's family friendly though.
Family friendly, yeah. That's what we need. Family friendly.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Timmy.
Eat your cheap potato chips every day.
Eat your cheap potato chips every day? That's not the... Hello, my name is Katherine Norland, and I don't condone this message.
That message was a joke.
Eat your cheap potato chips every day? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe how about we eat an apple a day? Or how about we eat a banana every day?
A banana a day keeps the chips away.
Yes! You can coin that phrase. I am behind that. My name is Katherine Norland, and I support a banana a day keeps the chips away.
Bye,
Bye, Timmy.
By the way, it's Dad's birthday, so wish him a happy birthday.
Yes, it's Robert. It's my husband's birthday today. That's Timmy's wanting you to. Can you not drag my paperwork out the door? So, however, if Dole Banana or Chiquita Banana wants to sponsor me, I'd be happy to have a lifetime supply. Okay. Robert on here says he's turning 30 this year. How old were you when you found your way? I became a believer at age 9, but then I strayed in my teens. And then I was kind of dabbling in my late teens, sort of trying to come back to God, but not really. I'd say I really, really with a vengeance, like focus and determination, came back to God at 22, and that's when I started going to Bible college. Okay, let's take a look at some of the stuff that we missed. Nicholas says, I can see that. It's a matter of influence. Yes, the people around you will influence you. Robert says, I worked in ministry several years, and now I feel lost myself. Why do you feel lost? Tell me more. I meant to say I got the book from Amazon after a month. Anandit, I don't know what book you got. Was it, hold on. Oh, was it Poetic Prescriptions for Plaguing Problems? Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth? Or Poetic Prescriptions for Pesky Problems? Because the book I released in December is an ebook. So I don't know how you could get a paperback of that unless somebody's bootlegging my book. Tell me. I'm excited to hear. Ananda, did you know I'm putting together an acting course with someone from India? I don't know if you know that. If you're interested in acting, we're going to be putting that out. Okay, let's look at this. It's important not only to work hard, but to work smart in the process. Nana says, Pastor Mel calls the people you hang out with that are closest to you your power climate. All right, your power climate. But if you're hanging out with the wrong people, they're your weakness climate, right? Because you get so easy to get pulled down to their level. All right, let's see. Jalation says, God is awesome. Yes, he is. I put a quote today on paying people compliments. It blesses others. It does. It does. Robert's saying, you know me too well. Okay. Nana says Angela says looking forward to getting a copy. All right, what do we have here? I'm looking if I miss you. Derek says it's better to eat broccoli than candy. Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm not saying you can never have candy, but you know. Okay. Nana says my mom and dad both would have given anyone the shirt off their backs, and they needed it. That's how I was raised. Yeah, to be a generous giver. And Nana, have you found that when you have been a generous giver, that God always restores? God always brings back. God always makes sure you have enough. You never have to fear God not coming through, especially when you feel he's compelled you or called you to give. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anandit. You got the book, Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth, Examining Earthly Beauty from a Heavenly Perspective. Awesome. Anandit, the acting course. So I started filming this last summer with my friend from India. He used to be a known actor in India, and then he moved to America to make his way as an actor here. And he's been in a lot of A-list movies with big stars like Harrison Ford, and that's the guy from Star Wars. Who else? The guy who played Gandhi. What is his name? Sir Ben Kingsley. He's been in movies with him. He's been in a lot of A-list movies here in America too. And he loved my You Are Worthy course. And Nana's saying always, God always comes back and provides. Sufimus, your eyes are so pretty. Why do you have two different colored eyes? Because I was born that way. So we're putting together an acting course called Acting and Having Fun. And it's considering the expertise and all the stuff you're going to learn in the 8 or 9 episodes. It's very, very cheaply priced. He doesn't a course like this could easily sell for $1,000, and he wants to mark it down all the way down to $99, which is a steal because sometimes just going to one acting class is $100. Easy. Some people pay $500, $600, $700 for a class per month. So anyways, it's a great value, and you'll learn what it takes to become a competent and compelling actor. But more on that to come. I'm just letting you know, Acting and Having Fun is a course that will be coming out this year. We have 3 more episodes to shoot, and then we'll start editing it. So always trying to help provide value for people. I get so many comments about, acting. So, okay, some people closest to you can secretly be jealous and hurt you the most, says Nicola. It's true. But we never have to be jealous of anyone, because whatever God has for you is for you. No one can take it from you. Yes, Nicola, Shaunte has a YouTube channel. I do know that, but she's not been posting on it. I've been encouraging her to post on it more. Thea says, when people peer pressure you into doing what they want, you need to stand up for yourself and define what matters, and then live by it. Very true. And sometimes you're not strong enough to stand up to the peer pressure. And if that's the case, if you feel like, man, I don't want to do these things, but every time I get around these people, I get sucked into it, and I get pressured, and I do things I don't want to do, then that's a prime classic example of what I'm talking about today. Maybe you need to change the peers you're hanging out with, right? So it was so good this weekend to be around people who were thinking big, just like hearing people come up to the microphone and talk about like what they did in sales for the day. And like, sometimes you're thinking to yourself, man, if I could make $80,000 a year, I would be rich. And then people are coming up to the microphone saying, yeah, so I did this workshop and I sold $80,000 after 2 hours. And you're looking at them like, wait, what? You made $80,000 in 2 hours? Some people are like, I would be rich if I made that per year. So do you see how even just being around successful people, like hearing all these people come up to the microphone and talk about how well they're doing, sometimes we think, oh, I don't want to brag, or I don't want to tell anyone how good I'm doing because I don't want people to feel bad, or maybe it's bragging. Sometimes sharing your wins with people are causing people to open their mind and think bigger and say, hey, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. Sometimes you see people succeed in life who are not necessarily even good people. They're just working right instead of working hard. You see people succeed and they're like kind of not good people. And you think, it kind of makes you go, if they can succeed, how can we not succeed if we've got the power of God living in us? Of course we can succeed. So just even being around people who are successful can open up your mind to different possibilities, right? Doesn't mean you kick all your negative, poor friends to the curb or whatever. Like, it's not even what I'm talking about. We love people. We love everyone, right? But if we're constantly being fed, like we're constantly listening and being programmed, the 5 people closest to you will determine your net worth. If we're constantly being programmed, like I used to work I've worked in 2 factories, sitting on the assembly line all day. Let me tell you, women on the assembly line can complain. They can complain. You could go in there with a positive, cheerful attitude and you leave like, I just want to poke my eye out. You leave after hearing everyone's drama and problems all day. Ay. Okay. Is this resonating with any of you guys? Are you feeling like, are you at least considering examining who you're spending time with, or maybe just even seeking out a mentor or a coach who thinks bigger, who thinks at a higher level, who will see things that you can't see about yourself, who sees you up here, even though you're down here and you maybe can only see yourself like one level up, or whatever it is. So you want to be around people who are going to inspire you to greatness. Hi, CJ Eats. So yeah, tell me, like, what does this bring up for you? Or Lisa, sometimes even if you spend time with the right people, life gets in the way and you can't accomplish your goals. Life does sometimes get in the way, but that doesn't mean you can't accomplish your goals. Sometimes it means you gotta rethink where you're at. You gotta rethink where you're spending your time, what you're spending time contemplating on. Maybe you need to be around other types of people. It can go deeper, but yes, there are times you have to put your dream on hold. But that doesn't mean you can't accomplish your dream. No one can stop you from accomplishing your dreams. No one. I don't care how they try to mess you up, how they try to sabotage you. They may cause you to have to step back and pause and reassess and redo things. But what that's doing for you, it's making you stronger. It's making you more adept, more alert. Like look at David. Look at David in the Old Testament. Look at David in the Bible. He had to face Goliath. He had to face a giant. Goliath was supposed to be over 9 feet tall and like 400 pounds. Somebody has like figured out what it was. I don't know exactly. But if you're a teenager, you're a young boy, and you're having to battle a warrior who's trained in war, and you're just a little shepherd boy, it's a giant who's 9 or 10 feet tall and 400 pounds of muscle. You had to have been through something first. And being a shepherd, he had to save his sheep and fight off his sheep from lions and bears that would try to come and grab his sheep and eat them. So David fought off the lions. David fought off the bears. So when he got to Goliath, he had the confidence and the skills to take down that giant. So sometimes we complain about the battles we're going through. Somebody else in that position could have just let the lion take the sheep. Dad, come home. Dad, I couldn't help it. A big lion came. He took the sheep. What was I supposed to do? David was like, nah, 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 nah. You're not taking my sheep. And he grabbed that lion by his beard and yanked that sheep out of it and pounded him over the head or whatever he had to do to save the sheep. So a lot of that is mindset too. Some other shepherd boy could have just taken off running. Well, I don't want the lion to get me, right? So how are you facing the battles that come to you? Are you letting the lions steal your dreams? Are you letting the bears take your dreams? Are you letting the Goliaths keep you back? Or are you using this as training ground? When you're fighting off lions and tigers and bears, oh my, are you letting it make you stronger? Or are you mentally just saying, I have to flee, I have to give up, I have to run? So I would, suggest that maybe God is trying to make you stronger. The devil's trying to take you down. The devil's he's sending all this negativity your way so that you'll quit. And God is saying, rise up. Rise up, champion. You can do this. You were made for such a time as this. Whatever comes your way, that is nothing compared to you and I working together, right? Scripture says, if God is for me, who can stand against me, right? And that's how David was able to look at Goliath and say, Goliath is like, here I am, this mighty warrior, and you send this boy You send this boy to tackle me? David didn't have on armor. You know, he couldn't even, he tried to put on the king's armor and it was too heavy. He couldn't even carry the king's armor. David has, David has a sling, piece of wood. David has like a sling. And the big old Goliath's like, you come at me with a stick like I am a dog. And here's what David did. And this is what I encourage you to do, Orly, and anybody that's watching. When your problem, your big, giant problem starts to say, you think you can defeat me? You have to look at him like David did and say, you come at me with whatever Goliath was coming in, and David said to Goliath, but I come at you, you uncircumcised Philistine, in the name of the living God, and just beat him down. You gotta here's the thing. We've got to keep our focus not on the giant, but on the all-powerful living God who's working with us and is going to give us the wherewithal to defeat whatever giant comes our way. So we got to, sometimes we just got to go running towards our problems and not running away from them. Running towards them with the power of God behind us to defeat it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but each time, here's the thing, we build habits and we build patterns. And I think, is the video, either the video I put out last Monday or the video I'm putting out tomorrow, is about how we program ourselves to build our good habits or bad habits. Did I put that one out yet, or is that coming out Monday? You guys can let me know. This week has been a blur. So every time you shrink back, every time a problem comes and you give up, you give up. You are training yourself to be a quitter. So then sometimes even itty bitty little problems, we quit before we even try to tackle them because we have constantly trained ourselves to give up when the going gets tough. And if we ever want to accomplish our goals or anything in life, we can't give up just because something doesn't go our way that day. Just because then if we keep doing that, then we're training ourselves. It's not even a giant. It's not even a bear. It's not even a lion. A little squirrel chases you and you're running. You're giving up. It's a squirrel. Then we start to give up on tiny little problems just because we've allowed our mind to be trained to defeat, to run. So I would submit to you that probably how you're handling things maybe needs to be reworked, and it needs to be rethink it. And sometimes what we need to do is we need to put ourselves in the place of what would a champion do. I met a woman yesterday. She wrote this book about food addiction, and she had gained and lost, back and forth, gained and lost over 770 pounds. She had this food addiction. And one of the things I thought it was fascinating, and one of the things she was saying to me, her name was Echo. So, interesting name. She was saying to me how, because she was a binge eater. She would just binge. She was saying to me, she got to this, one of the, it's not the main thing of the book, but one thing she said about it was she started to say to herself, how would a thin person eat? How would, she's saying, a thin person probably would not be sitting here right now and eating 12 bags of potato chips in 3 hours while sitting on the couch. How would a thin person behave? And I submit to you guys that you start asking yourself, how would a champion behave? How would an overcomer behave? How would someone who's accomplishing their dreams behave when an obstacle came their way, when a life issue came up, when a problem happened, how would a champion behave? How would someone who's going after their dreams behave when something came up? And if you start behaving like the person you want to be instead of the person where you are now, you're going to see huge differences. You know, maybe you guys remember, it was like 10, 15 years ago, there was these popular bracelets people would wear that would say WWJD. What would Jesus do? Well, get a mentor. Get someone where you can say, what would this person do? What would this person do in this situation? Don't just turn to your default of running scared, giving up, throwing in the towel when it gets hard. Stop and ask yourself, what would a successful person do in this situation right now? What would a wealthy person do in this situation right now? What would a God-loving person do in this situation right now? And if you stop and ask yourself that instead of going to your default, you're going to have a much, much, much better life. Has this been helpful to you guys? Brittany says, I beat a lion down, but then sometimes the minute it comes after me, I'm like, whoa, never mind. Brittany says, maybe we need one that says WWKD. What would Kat do? I don't know about that, but it's interesting. The Apostle Paul, who wrote more books of the New Testament than anyone else, said, Nicholas says, definitely love this. Hi, Mary. He said, imitate me as I imitate Christ. So, I mean, that's just proof right there that we need mentors and we need people to follow. You know, he's like, imitate me, like follow me, do what I'm doing as I'm trying to do what God is doing. And, you know, I feel like that's why you guys are here, right? You want some wisdom and input, and you want to hear kind of how I think or the things that I have to, you know, advice I have to give. You're wondering how do I think about certain things? And so in a way, you guys showing up here each week, you are being mentored in a way, right? I mean, those of you diehards who are still here an hour later, like what? So you have an attraction to good advice. You have an attraction to the light. And I don't have everything figured out. Like I wouldn't be as presumptuous to say, follow me as I follow Christ. Because I mess up every day. I mean, we all mess up every day, right? We all mess up in thought, word, or deed every day. But doing our best, and if I would have waited till I was had arrived or was perfect or did I wouldn't be on here every week. If I waited till I had my life figured out and I was uber successful, I wouldn't be here, because I'm never going to arrive and you're never going to arrive. So love yourself, have compassion on yourself. We are all works in progress. We won't even be finished till we get to heaven. We're always going to have more work to do on ourselves. So love yourself, have compassion on yourself. We're all just figuring out together. And you guys, Tony G says he needs some, he probably needs some prayer because he twisted his leg playing basketball. So let's remember that. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you next Sunday. Take care.